Good evening, mates. This side Rahul Magan here as Group Chief Executive Officer Treasury Consulting and also a venture capitalist. Standing today on 17th September 2020, I am going to be shooting a video precisely around 1:15 a.m. Singapore time, and I titled this video as Confusion minus confession is equals to 0. Unfortunately, nowadays we are not getting much time to shot the videos, but whatever limited times we get, we definitely shot videos to give ample of hints to investors across the globe. But people with the IQ less than 8 will always come and say why you don't speak clearly. Because people with the IQ greater than 8 always understood what I wanted to convey. There are 3 stages in every economy of the globe. But the business school, so-called business school, will teach only 2 stages, which is the stage of bull and the stage of bear. But I always believe that there are 3 stages which we have in any global economy of the globe. Any economy of the globe. One is the bull run. When everything is going up, up, up. Everything is up in the order, irrespective of the fundamentals. Second is the bear run, which means that everything is coming down, and that again irrespective of the fundamentals. And last but not the least, the third stage is the state of confusion, which precisely means that it is very, very difficult for any entrepreneur, any investor, retail investor, HNI, and especially for the young guns to come to a conclusion. And I strongly feel that India as an economy and many other Asian economies of the globe are already in a state of confusion. Now, before I start my deliberation on this topic, I would like to read today's newspaper, and here comes my favorite line. Economists like to move in a herd. After one of them cut India's GDP contraction forecast for 2021, it wasn't surprising that others too follow suit. In one of my earlier videos, I was very clear and apparent that I do not respect economists and bankers anymore. And I think this paragraph is little bit incorrect. Economists and bankers, they always move in a herd, which precisely means that if one banker is bullish on one economy while others are bullish on the same economy, and if one banker is bearish on one economy, the others start bearish on the same economy. But unfortunately, we are living in a world when most of the people tend to believe these economists, and they preferably feel that, and especially the ex-central bankers, they feel that the designation holds maturity. But the hard reality is that designation do not holds any maturity. Rather, designation is nowadays is given as a choice, not by way of your knowledge. Now, when I speak about the state of confusion, and especially talking about capital markets, I feel that one side I am getting a news that LIC, the Life Insurance Corporation of India, is looking for IPO. All of a sudden I am getting a news that LIC IPO is deferred. Why? We don't know. When? We don't know. Then I am getting a news that Toyota, and I really don't think that I need to explain who is Toyota. Toyota decided no as far as the expansion in India is concerned. Toyota is very much angry as far as the taxes on the cars are concerned. And Toyota is very much clear, whatever the limited information came in public domain, and let me read this for you because this is my first point. The government keep taxes on cars, motorbikes so high that companies find it harder to build scale, said Shekhar Vishwanathan, Vice Chairman of Toyota local unit, Toyota Kirloskar Motor. The high levies also put owning a car out of reach of many consumers, meaning factories are idle and jobs are not created, he said. The message we are getting after we had came here and invested money is that we do not want you, we won't exit India, but we won't scale up. I repeat, the message we are getting after we have came here and invested money is that we do not want you. We won't exit India, but we won't scale up. And this statement is by Toyota. 1 out of 1 million people is having credential to come in public domain and speak. Rest do not. But that doesn't mean that the rest do not holding the same opinion about the system we have as of now. That is more important. So the first state of confusion is when the big boys, of course Toyota is a big boy, when big boys are giving remarks in the public domain which really matters. But I should be thankful to the Hindi media, because Hindi media will not put these remarks on their channels, because they know if they put the remark, then their loyalty towards few people would be limited. Second stage of confusion is definitely the vaccine. Vaccine is now a football and politicians are footballers across the globe. Today, when on 17th September we shot this video, we are around 46 days away from US elections. And I really don't think that I need to tell you that US elections are the most important elections we have across the globe. Before US elections, there was a widening factor between Trump and Biden. And according to my knowledge, Trump was 42% favorite and Biden was around 52% favorite, and rest are others. But now, the spread between Trump and Biden is less than 2%. There are many factors that contributed to that spread, and I am not entering into what all these factors, but US elections is definitely having a very deeper impact on the commodities market. Example, the more we closer go to US election, the more volatility you will see in the gold, copper, silver, platinum, diamond and all other gases, including petroproducts. Because one statement from Trump or one statement from Biden would move gold here and there. And that is something which is really a cause of concern, at least to me and my hedge fund desk. And that is what I call one-off state of confusion, because the people, those who are associated with this industry, the medical professionals, they are really not sure that vaccine will come before 2021, and even if it will come, then it will take at least 3 years to reach to the people. And I'm not saying this. Health Minister Harshvardhan has spoken of how India is likely to get vaccine for the COVID-19 by the first quarter of next year. But the person responsible for the manufacturing, it seems less sanguine. In its interview to the Financial Times, Adhar Poonawalla, Chief Executive of Serum Institute, the world's largest vaccine producer, has said that it will take till the end of 2024 for everyone in the world to be inoculated. Probably the vaccine will come and probably the safety is not an issue. Many senior people raised concern about the safety of the vaccine because politicians are pushing these medical institutes to come up with vaccine as early as possible so that they can make this as a winning factor in their election propaganda. And definitely US is not an exception as of now in that regards. Medical professionals also raised a serious concern that if this vaccine came in public domain without the complete sanity and the safety standards, then it would be more disastrous than the COVID-19 himself. And even though I'm not an inch closer to the medical professional, but I acknowledge that this is the righteous fact, because if the safety is compromised because of elections, then it would be more disastrous, because 7 billion people across the globe are waiting for this vaccine. And as we speak, on 17th September, the unfortunate fact is that there are around 30 million official infected people across the globe. And the top 3 countries are United States, around 6.5 million, India, around 5.2 million, and Brazil, which is around 4.4 million. Rest are others. So the first state of confusion is definitely when the economists along with bankers came in one direction and they tried to manipulate the information, and they tried to give a signal to the market that the market will go in the direction in which they wanted to have the market. In this scenario, it is always difficult, especially for the young guns, to decide where exactly we are going and what we should do. The second state of confusion is the vaccine himself, when we are not sure when the vaccine is coming. Rather than deliberating this, people, those who even do not have any medical knowledge, they came in public domain. Like today, Donald Trump said that vaccine is well ahead of schedule and it would launch in October. I am very wishful that vaccine will come before October, but the one thing that is definitely making me disregard his statement is when the professionals, those who are from that industries, are clearly saying that I'm sorry, do not expect vaccine before June 2021. And except God, no one knows that if the vaccine will come in June 2021, then how devastating the scene would be. Because the simple mathematics led to a conclusion that if the vaccine will come in June 21, then the world would have not less than 100 million infected people, which excludes the compounding factor. And if I take the compounding factor, then only God knows where we really end up. Where we really end up. Third confusion factor is when people are selling and people are buying. And what is that? Life Insurance Corporation is planning to cut its holding in the IDBI Bank. We all understand that Life Insurance Corporation is holding around 51% stake in the IDBI Bank, and they invested around 21,600 crores to bought 44% stake. And after that, Life Insurance Corporation is the largest stakeholder in the IDBI Bank. After COVID-19, I hardly knew any Indian bank who is not raising the money. Rather, they are in the same list, same line to raise the money again. And private equity player, the sovereign wealth fund, and especially from Singapore, which is Temasek and GIC, are very much interested to invest in India, even though Temasek and GIC himself do not know what they are up to. After generating negative returns for more than 1 year, these institutions are investing in other countries, and I really have no, respect in saying that Temasek and GIC is now running as an institution whereby they are investing the Singapore money not on guidelines but based upon their wish. And you can look at their balance sheet and you can look at their returns. I challenge Temasek and GIC that if you have guts, then talk to me. I will let you know that how to invest in the markets. Third stage of confusion, in fact fourth stage of confusion, that is really hitting me, and I have raised this concern several times, is the Indian startup story. So the scene is like that. When everything was going good before COVID, stock market was around 42,000 plus. Nifty was closer to 13,000. Bank Nifty was closer to 26 and 25. These startups not thought of IPO. Rather, they not even planned for IPO. And now when things are messy, when things are diluted, disregarded, these IPOs, these unicorns are planning to have IPO. SoftBank backed logistic unicorn Delivery planning to have IPO in 12 to 18 months. And I'm not reading completely, rather Zomato, InMobi, Paytm, Ola, Grofers, Policybazaar, PhonePe and Lenskart are amongst Indian startups currently looking for the public. I apologize. Unicorns, Zomato, Unicorn, InMobi, Unicorn, Paytm, Unicorn, Ola, Unicorn, Grofers, Unicorn, Policybazaar, Unicorn, PhonePe, Unicorn, Lenskart are amongst Indian startups looking for public. But none of them is in profit. And when they really come to IPO, you will see that the valuation which investment banker will put on the table, and I assure you that Treasury Consulting will make a complete video as soon as either of these unicorns will come in public. In fact, I'm very sorry to say that when I was watching Bloomberg few days ago, and I not expected this from Bloomberg per se, Bloomberg reported one of the startups result and they compared this with EBITDA. And Bloomberg ignored PAT, profit after tax, which is also known as bottom line. I was very surprised that how come Bloomberg is joining the league of the media who is not only paid, sponsored, incompetent but sleeping. How can we compare the result of any startup on EBITDA multiple but not on the PAT multiple? When these unicorns will raise their IPO, I will tell you the young guns even do not know whether to go ahead or not. And our beloved Hindi media will push these IPOs to the larger extent so that the even people who do not really wish to buy, they also buy. So this is the fourth stage of confusion. The fifth and the most important stage of confusion is definitely the delisting story. And that really hits me, at least. Companies have already announced 26 billion of transactions to be taken private by the related party this year. It means that companies across the globe are spending or willing to spend 26 billion to make themselves private, which is 2500%, 2500 times than 2019. Where are we heading, guys? Where are we heading? Companies have already announced 26 billion of transactions to be taken private by the related party this year, up about 2500% from the same period in 2019. According to the data compiled by Bloomberg, many of the deals involve ultra-rich founders who have been helped by cheap financing and the sluggish share performance of their businesses at the time when the market is surging. And India is not an exception. We know that there are many Indian companies, those who really on the verge of or very closer to delisting. But the hard reality is that in an ideal economic scenario, once the company announced delisting, the share price should fall. Reason? There is a company called Ramlal and Company, who is currently a listed company, and Ramlal and Company is now planning to get delisted. Now, once the company is delisted, it means that all the financial statement and the requisite numbers, they are not in public domain anymore. Now, it having a negative impact on the equity share, and ideally speaking, equity share needs to fall. But what happening in the Indian capital market? Once the company announced delisting, the price go up, which creates a sense of confusion in the minds of the investors. Should we buy or should we not buy? And the fifth and last confusion is definitely the latest regulation which pushing the large cap mutual funds to have an equal exposure of the mid and small caps. And I'm very surprised that the weightage of private banks in mutual fund schemes was up by 1.1%. So in July it was 16.2%. So in July the top private banks hold 16.2% of the portfolio, while in August it ended up 17.3%. 1 year ago it was around 20%. It means it is closer to pre-COVID level. But hey guys, the fundamental issue is, if the banks are raising so much amount of money, is it a right strategy by the mutual fund to include this bank in their portfolio? But who cares? Who cares? Because mutual funds, and especially equity mutual funds, gave negative return from the last 5 years. Who cares? Franklin closed 6 schemes without any intimation. Who cares? Even after the debacle of the credit risk fund, our media is silent on credit risk fund. Who cares? Even after retail investor lost thousands of crores in the 81 bonds, one bank raised more than 8,000 crores in the 81 bonds. Who cares? And this is why I shot this video. Because I look things holistically, and it doesn't matter to me what the people outside YouTube think about me. Because I know one thing, that this state of confusion will definitely end up several hundred or maybe millions of retail investors die because in a state of confusion, they do not know what to do, how to do, and why to do. This is Rahul from Treasury Consulting. You know our WhatsApp 9818485155. Treasury Consulting Group Hedge Fund Desk now publish more than 19 reports every day, which includes Nifty, Bank Nifty, Nifty PSU Index, Standard Poor, Nasdaq, debt reports, money market, and everything. Treasury Consulting holds live licenses, Bloomberg, Reuters. Treasury Consulting is an authority who knows how to handle the financial market data. And I would like to let Hindi media know very carefully that our app is definitely on in Android and the Apple app is on the way. And hell lot of action is coming. So my dear Hindi media, before you publish anything, remember that there is at least one company you have across the globe who know how to read newspaper. I would like to close this video with my favorite line. In 2007, reading business newspaper was about gaining knowledge. In 2020, reading business newspaper is about losing knowledge. Have a great day and enjoy Hindi media.